Okay, welcome back once again to today's conversation. I am Taiwo Olawaimi, uh, Brand and Operations Executive at my pharmacy, Advantage Health Africa. And you're all here because you're members of my pharmacy growth hub, right? The accelerator program for pharmacy owners and pharmacy managers across Nigeria, where we share ideas, co-create solutions that could improve and transform retail pharmacy practice in Nigeria. Yes, thank you so much for choosing to be a part of the community, especially those who have been a part of the community since we kickstarted around August or thereabouts. Right. And some members of the community as well have also been a part of the coaching program, the coaching tracks where we had the structured track, sales track, specialization track to help pharmacy owners get coached by experts in the field who can help them improve certain areas of difficulty in their practice. So for persons who regard structure as their key challenge, they have been a part of the structure track for about 3 months intensive coaching, right? For those who found sales as their key challenge, they have been coached for 3 months by an expert in that space. Once again, please mute yourself when you're supposed to be speaking. Thank you so much. For those in specialization track, those who desire to expand their practice beyond the day-to-day over-the-counter dispensing, they want to be healthcare consultants who are providing consultations and specialized services based on their key areas of expertise. And it's so beautiful to see them clarify their key areas of expertise in the last 3 months. And going forward, they will be monetizing that skill. And not only that, expanding those skills so that they can practice better as healthcare professionals. So yes, this today's session really is the first of many. So we'll frequently be having our bi-monthly meetup for members, right? So it's basically an opportunity for us to co-learn, co-share, and basically get better as individuals, as pharmacists, right? And seeing that the world is a global village and businesses, industries are being transformed by the power of technology, we mustn't be left out as pharmacists, as community pharmacists. We must learn to be able to harness social media, technology, even as small business owners who, of course, desire to expand from small business owners to big companies, big organizations someday, big organizations that will transcend generations, God willing, right? And I believe that the goal of today's session really is to help us to be able to harness social media, starting from where we are and using what we have. I know some of us feel that, oh, there's a lot required. Where do I even start from? How do I even start? Right. So today's session really will clarify all of those for you, helping you, opening your eyes to see why you should even pay attention to it in the first place. And of course, how you can start from where you are with what you have. And the beautiful thing about today's session really is that the facilitator is a pharmacist, so he understands our pain points, right? Because he is in the industry, he understands the peculiarities of pharmacy practice, of community pharmacy practice. So feel free to ask all of your questions because our facilitator for today is someone who has great expertise and experiences when it comes to social media utilization, social media maximization. Is an experienced copywriter and content strategist. He's currently a communication specialist at JNCI Limited. So he really comes with a lot of experiences, communications wise, marketing communications to be specific. So yes, let's go to town with it. Let's ask questions. Let's be open-minded. Let's have our notes and pens ready to jot down. And more importantly, right, let's be ready to act, because it's one thing to learn and be excited by all that you will learn today. It's another thing to take the action, right? It's one thing to say, wow, fantastic. Next year, oh, January, I am going to to open an Instagram page for my pharmacy. I'm going to hire a content creator or a website designer, whatever action you want to take. And it's very easy to say, oh, I'm going to have all of these things in my to-do list as the year rounds up and as we go into 2023. However, it's another thing to actually get to do those things. So I really hope that we'll move from knowledge consumption to actually action, to taking those steps. But it is in doing those things that we then begin to enjoy the benefits therein. So yes, I'd like to welcome our facilitator for today, pharmacist Joba Ojelabi, who will be taking us through the power of social media and how pharmacy owners, pharmacy managers, community pharmacists can maximize the power of social media to drive sales, to generate and acquire more clients, and really to be able to practice pharmacy more effectively, more profitably, of course. Thank you so much. Over to our facilitator to take over. Joba, over to you. Thank you so much.
Hi, Taiwo. Thank you again. Okay. I'm guessing, I'm trying to look through the participants list and I see a couple of familiar names. So quick heads up, before I joined JNTI, I was an AHA person myself, and I think I still regard myself as a member of the team in some ways. At least at the worst case scenario, I still wear the shirt, so that must count for something. Thank you very much, Taiwo. So yes, jumping right into it. Hi, everyone. It's nice to meet all of you guys as men of honor again. I want to believe that everybody on this call is a community pharmacy owner. That's the brief I got. I want to believe that's correct. And I'm going to try as much as possible to make this conversation as pragmatic, as realistic as possible. And of course, so that beyond this call, we are able to chart a course for our businesses to define actionable steps really for our businesses. Well, luckily for me, one of the perks of being a member of the team AHA is I get to borrow some slides. So I'm going to be borrowing one of the old slides, but I tweaked some parts of it. So there will be some modification, which I'm going to share with Taiwo to share with the team later, but I'm just going to be using that to drive the conversation. Okay, am I able to share my screen, Taiwo?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
All right. Okay. So let me just share my screen. Okay, bringing it up now. Please let me know when you can see my screen. And yes, just to reiterate, or to correct, while I like to deceive myself or console myself that I'm still in healthcare, I don't think I've done as much community pharmacy practice to get that or even pharmacy overall, to get that, what's it called? I should probably hide that title somewhere, hide my license and wait to actually practice like most of you guys before I start to use it again. Can you see my screen now? It's up here, I don't know.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and please, I'd really love to crave all our indulgences. I'd like that to be as interactive as possible because, just as I said, I want us to not just come and have a TED talk. I want us to talk about the reality of social media in our businesses. Where are we? Where do we need to be? What are the possibilities? What are the opportunities? So I'd like that we react as much as possible. It's all right if we can't all unmute. We could as well put our comments in the chat box. So from time to time, I'll be asking some questions and I would like that we react in the chat box. I hope this is fine. That's the first question. I hope this is fine. Please say something in the chat box.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you, Mobolaji. So yes, social media for pharmacy owners. This is a very interesting topic. It's a little touchy for me because so 2 years ago, yeah, that's 2 years now, at the crux of the pandemic, of the COVID-19 pandemic, Well, all of us, most of us rather, were locked down. Save for us health workers, we had to work. But the realities of business changed for all of us, whether you're a health worker or not. The reality of business changed. So it means that where before footfall was a major metric for you as a community pharmacy owner or for you as a community pharmacist, in this instance where nobody is allowed to go out, how do you use footfall to measure so your success or to measure the traction of business? That's no longer a valid metric, and also implies that you need to then find a way to cater to care for your immediate community. So, quick background: one of the beautiful things about community pharmacy that I personally respect, that I personally admire, relative to other kinds of practice in pharmacy, is the fact that I think that community pharmacy is one of the most socially inclined practices, really, when it comes to pharmacy. I mean, it means that when it comes to social impact, so away from business, away from, oh, I made this so and so profit, away from, oh, this is what we did in revenue, impact, actual impact. Oh, I saved this number of lives. I helped prevent the spread of this condition by this social percentage in my community. Community practice is one of those spaces where we are able to effectively do that. That's why beyond just regular entrepreneurship, I think that community pharmacists or community pharmacy owners are more inclined towards social entrepreneurship. So yes, they're trying to build a sustainable, scalable business, but at the same time, intentionally, unintentionally, you are also delivering social impact. And that's why a lot of times the value of a community pharmacy goes beyond the economic returns. Oh, I'm contributing this so and so to GDP. The impact you are able to create in your community, as a matter of fact, is tangible enough. And I'm going to be speaking at this topic on coming from both perspectives. So yes, social impact, and of course, how that can translate into financial returns, how that can translate into better business outcomes for your business. Because again, there has to be a fine balance. You're not a charity organization. Yes, you're a social entrepreneurship, but it's not a charity organization. So yes, business has to run with you, without you. What are your processes? I mean, I'm sure that the growth hub probably caters to all the other technical parts of that, inventory control and all that stuff. But on the marketing front, one of the most integral questions, one of the most important questions that you need to ask, because this is the first flaw really that I noticed with a lot of community pharmacies, yes, is that because of that social impact that you have, a lot of us are not inclined towards marketing. We're not inclined towards, oh, what am I doing to promote my brand? What am I doing to gain new customers? So a lot of times we are stuck at that phase of, I'm doing fine. Survival is good. Business is, I mean, I made this so and so sales this month, made it again next month, broken even, I'm good. That's not how typical businesses run, or well, that's not how good businesses or great businesses run. You have to have some marketing strategy. At the worst case scenario, mouth to mouth, neighborhood kind of marketing. You have to have something. So at the end of the day, when you are doing that sheet, making all that expenses, what is your marketing expense? A lot of us don't even have. And yes, the beautiful thing about marketing expenses is that they translate to an objective. So when I say, oh, invest 100,000 in marketing per annum, it has to be measured against an objective. What is the specific objective? Do we want to gain more awareness in our community? Do we want to increase our patronage? Do we want to increase our
Okay. Apologies, everyone. My internet reset for some very strange reason. Please, can we hear me? Be sure that I'm back.
We can hear you.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. So please, what was the last thing you heard? I was asking if we had a marketing budget as businesses.
If the budget was, yeah,
100,000.
if it was assigned to
You have
an objective.
Yes, yes. Okay. So yes, that's just to set the premises. For us being intentional about our marketing as businesses. Yes, you're a social enterprise. Yes, there are rules. I also understand that part, that there are rules against some kinds of marketing from the regulatory bodies and all of that stuff. But even in the space of that, even in the reality of that context, we still have some luxuries that I think that we are not optimally taking advantage of as pharmacists. So I'll just jump right into it so I can exhaust. So yes, social media pharmacy owners, the role of media for business expansion and visibility. Just as I said, yeah, I think it was a custom slide made not too long ago, but it fits right into this conversation. Sorry, I think someone needs to mute. Okay, so yes, introduction, the world is getting smaller. Taiwo already made that point. Global, I mean, it is a global village now. I mean, it's a time where from here in Lagos, you can make a purchase, complete a purchase anywhere else in Africa, anywhere else in the world, and have your products delivered, make payments seamlessly without seeing the vendor, without knowing the vendor, in fact, without even knowing who is going to get the product. So you find new businesses emerging as middlemen. So I need to facilitate a trade. I'm able to build a business around that by merely understanding where there's a need and where there's the resource to cater to that need. So yes, one of the things that has enabled this global village, one of the tools that has helped us or has powered this whole globalization and made the world shrink so much is technology. Now, bringing it home, making it more specific, is social media. And of course, the next question is, what is social media? I think at this point, I want one or two responses. What does social media mean to you? And I'm guessing that, I don't know what the ground rules are for the house, but for me, usually there are no right or wrong answers. Everybody says what it is to them. So I'd really like some feedback. What's social media to you, really? I know a lot of us use it, but I've not really had that time to articulate what it is. Hi, pharmacist Hevling. Do you want to say something? See, you're muted. Okay. We could put it in the chat box as well for as many of us that want to put it in the chat box. But for the sake of our time, basically, the textbook definition, it is tech-enabled platforms that allow users to come share content that enables social networking. And I think for me, that's probably the simplest way to put it. But it is no longer, I mean, the reality of social media in 2022 is that it's no longer particular to individuals. So rather than say individuals, maybe one word that I used to replace is brands. It is now you can now define social media as platforms, usually tech-enabled, existing on the internet and all that, it's a mobile app, website that exists to allow, excuse me, I think someone needs to mute, some distraction somewhere. Yes, so as I was saying, there are platforms that allow social interaction, but it's not just by individuals, because as long as you're a brand, whether it's a personal brand, whether it's an organization, whether it's a non-government organization, whether it's a business, whether it's a regulator, as long as it's a brand and it has an entity by itself, it can exist on social media and it can also participate in that interaction. So I believe that that by itself should start, for those that are not already using social media, that by itself should already suggest to you that if you are not on social media as a business, you are far behind. I'll not say you're wrong, but you are far behind because it is 2022. It means that even your regulators are on social media. NAFDAC is on social media. The PCN is on social media. Who else? The people, everybody else really. Every other brand is on social media. Your competitors are on social media. Your target audience, your potential buyers, your users. In fact, even your partners, the people you buy from, wholesalers, and all those other brands, they're on social media. So if you are not on social media, makes me wonder what's happening on there. And I just like to take a quick poll. So if your business, I'm not talking about you as a person now, I'm talking as I'm talking about you, your business. So your pharmacy, the pharmacy where you either work or you own, if it exists as an entity on social media, please just put maybe an emoji or something in the chat box. I want to be sure that I don't have to take the conversation a step backwards. But please, if you're not, let's change that today. Sign up, really. It starts with, I think even the email address, starts with an email address. You have an email address, some of us a website, some pages. So you have an Instagram page, a page on LinkedIn, a page on Facebook, a page on Twitter. Nowadays, you even see brands going to newer platforms like TikTok, Snapchat, YouTube, of course. If you do a lot of video content, YouTube is a very valuable space to be on as a all of this background. Yeah, just as I said, competitor, everybody else really is on social media. So why are you not there if you're not? But if you first step, that is that the next question that you need to ask, it means that the next thing that you need to worry about is the optimization. So now that I'm on social media, what do I do with that? How am I able to translate that into business for my business? How am I able to translate that into growth for my business? Okay, and I mean, all of this part basically is just laying that background, but I don't want to dwell too much on that. Just as I said, I want us to go into the nitty-gritty of it. I want us to go into the actuality of it. So I have this is a model, an existing model in growth marketing. It's called the Pirates model, the Pirates framework, because of the way it sounds. So the acronym is R, AARRR. R, that's how it sounds. So if you know anything about pirates, you know that they use that a lot. So it's called the Pirates framework. And I'm just going to be speaking to social media usage, borrowing this framework. So to give us some context, typically in growth marketing, when you, for those of us that don't know what growth marketing is, it's basically that kind of marketing that is aimed, that is targeted towards significant growth. So you are planning to go from say 10 to 100 or 10 to 50 to 100 to 1,000, basically. And it's the kind of marketing that you find these days with startups. Because yes, you've probably, provided something that works, a solution that works, but you need to get people to use it. And apart from that, you need to take those, so you need to scale, because you need to have a particular number of users for you to first break even, then for you to get profit, and all those other stuff that you learn from all the other business class. But for business to survive and really thrive, you need to expand your user base. And the same applies to community pharmacy. So in community pharmacy, again, you already have a baseline MVP. And if the Growth Hub has been doing what it should be doing, I'm guessing that you know that that's not just selling medicines. You're not just medicine sellers. No, you're doing much more than that. But how are you able to take that much more? That's pharmaceutical care, that all those side services that you have integrated into your business. How are you able to take that to an expanded audience, to more people, leveraging social media? So yes, that's why I've borrowed this framework. Typically, every what's it called? Let me find the right word. Every process really that starts leveraging this framework always starts with awareness. So it's a journey for both your prospect and for you as a business owner. So for you as a business owner or as a pharmacist that is worrying about actively expanding your clientele, you are working through this journey on the back end. But for a prospect, so a prospect goes from awareness. Oh, I know about this pharmacy, ABC Pharmacy. on my streets, I'm aware of it, to activation, actually walking into that pharmacy when I need to make a buying decision, when I need to buy Panadol, for instance. Oh, okay, I'm aware. Let me walk into this pharmacy that I'm aware of. That's the activation phase. To reward, actually paying for your services, paying for what you're offering is your MVP. To retention. So after that, they then start to choose you repeatedly. That's retention. So, the next time I then need to get maybe an antimalarial, or I need to get an antibiotic, or I need to speak with a pharmacist, it's your brand that keeps coming to mind, and I keep coming back to you. That's the retention phase. And the referral is when that person then starts to speak with their friends and family and their network about your brand. That's usually the ultimate stage of loyalty, really, referral. So at that point, you are sure that this person is our ambassador, is an unpaid ambassador of your brand. So if they are bad-mouthing your pharmacy somewhere, or if they are, or somebody needs a medication, or somebody needs anything you're offering, really, and that person is there, you can trust them to refer. Some would almost even drag them to you, give them your number and all that stuff. So I've chosen this framework for all of us today for the sake of this conversation, because leveraging this framework, we are able to identify what social media channel, what social media tool and strategy works for where each person or where each prospect is in your funnel. So typically, if you want to overlap this with a sales funnel, a typical sales funnel, I don't know if we've had 1 or 2 sessions about sales funnels, but if you want to overlap this with a typical sales funnel, it is such that at the top of the funnel, of course, you have your leads. Leads are everybody and anybody that have heard about the brand, that is aware of the brand. So awareness comes at that phase. Then people who go from leads to becoming prospects. So people who then pay a second eye, people who take a second look at your brand, go from leads to becoming prospects, up until buyers, and of course, simply down the funnel. So if you have a sales funnel, the process flow can follow this sequence. But putting social media in the context of things, please guys, forgive me, I tend to go a little too fast. So if I'm moving too fast and you need to slow me down, please do. If we need to have any questions at any point, let's also take them. I'm able to take them, so we don't have to wait till the end, and especially if we go too far ahead, because I know that I might be bringing little, at least for some people that have not heard of some of these concepts, might be too much information at once. So if we need to slow down at some point, please let me know. Let's slow down. If we need to elaborate on something, please let me know. If we need to ask a specific question relating to your brand at any point, please let's do that. I hope that's fine. Can we still hear me? Hi, everyone. Yes. I don't trust my internet enough to allow too much silence. Taiwo, are you there?
Yes, I
Go
will.
ahead, go ahead.
Oh, okay, okay, just checking. Okay.
Yes, we are following.
Great, great, thank you very much. So yes, just as I was saying, yes, so let's talk about these social media platforms that you know. I'm guessing that top of mind, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, 3 Zuckerberg tools, top of mind. Then Twitter, then Google. Well, a lot of people don't see Google as a social media platform, and really it's not. It's not a social media platform. It's a search engine, which then takes us to the more elaborate concept of search engine optimization. Okay, I see in the chat somebody talking about Google My Business. Yes, so Google My Business is a tool for search engine optimization, such that when anybody around, or not even around you, when anybody searches for anything that is related to your brand shows up. That's what search engine optimization is. So Google My Business as a tool for search engine optimization is designed such that, because Google is an integrative search engine, Google Maps works together with YouTube, works together with everything that belongs to Google Alphabet, belongs to that parent brand. So when you use the search engine and you've signed up as a business on Google My Business, if a person in your locale is searching for a pharmacy, your your business would pop up, or they're searching for a place to buy medicines. In fact, it could be so intentional as much as or as specific as if the person searches for something as small as Panadol, your business comes up, your business pops up in their search results. That's how specific search engine optimization or Google My Business can be valuable to search engine optimization. Of course, there are other strategies to optimization. First off, websites getting featured on several other platforms, getting mentioned, because the idea of search engine optimization is that Google wants to recommend the most valuable piece of information to its users. So if I go on Google and I search for, what's it called? I search for instance, looking for a very unusual medicine, pralidoxin, something very, very atypical. And I just search for it on Google. Google, the intention or the way the engine is built is such that it wants to give me the most valuable information to me so that I keep choosing Google as a search engine tool, because the truth is everybody is in competition. And because Google does not have any original content, it relies on you and me and all of us to generate the content it recommends to its users. So it's able to draw from first its database, YouTube, Google Maps, everything to suggest responses. Then it goes on to crawl third-party websites. So if you have a website, chances are your website will pop up. If you've been mentioned in the news, because it also, it ranks those platforms. So if you've mentioned in the news, Punch, all those places, it comes up as well, and all that stuff. But yes, that's a more elaborate topic of SEO. And yeah, maybe I think I brushed up a little bit on that. So if you have more specific questions, we can take that. But today's conversation is really around social media, that tool of networking that allows brands to exist and interact with themselves and by themselves. So let's start from awareness. Usually, just as the name suggests, the objective is that awareness. And I said it earlier that one very common I talked about the budget, having a marketing budget. But beyond just the budget, in fact, even before the budget, it is important that you have a marketing objective, because there really is, in fact, I think every business, everything should be tied to an objective, because that's the only way you're able to measure the success or otherwise of that thing. So at what phase or whatever campaign or whatever you're trying to achieve with respect to marketing, which is with social media, because social media, again, is just the tool. Whatever you're trying to achieve has to be tied to objective. So if your objective is that awareness, I want people in my community, I want people around my community pharmacy to know that I am here. That is a marketing objective, awareness. And the truth about having that objective is that there are several ways. That's where strategy then comes in. Have an objective, a design strategy. And the truth about strategy is that, sometimes you don't have to even using, you're not even using social media, because again, marketing is much more than social media. There's the traditional media, there's the, outreach. And you're able to measure, is this strategy working? That's the beautiful. So it all must start with an objective. So I'd like us to see this point, all these points that I've borrowed from the Pirates framework of growth marketing as an objective. So the first objective is awareness. With that objective in mind, you're then able to ask the next question. Now I'm bringing the conversation specifically to social media. The next question of what social media channel would be valuable for awareness? Because again, the truth about social media is that despite the fact that they all have something in common, which is users interacting, users connecting, users networking, users putting out content, they all do it in so diverse ways that one cannot exactly give you the same outcome as the other. Say, for instance, simplest example that comes to mind is if you're trying to connect with a community of professionals, you don't do it on Instagram. I don't know if you guys, forgive me for using you guys. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, if you get the illustration I'm trying to paint. If you're trying to connect with, or if you have video content, you're trying to put out video content, you don't go to do it on Twitter, because each channel has specifics. Each channel is wired differently with respect to content, with respect to audience. That's why there was this, how all of us were on different platforms. So you go to check my LinkedIn profile, and there's me wearing a suit and a tie. And you go to check me on Twitter, and it's like an entirely different person. And you go to check me on Facebook, and I'm like, oh, and it's almost like we're different people on these different channels. So that just applies to you as a business. And of that is that all these channels will not do the same thing with respect to objective. So you have to know what channel is optimized or will give you optimal outcomes for your objective. If your objective is awareness, a place like Facebook, a social media platform like Facebook will work. And I'll tell you why. So for instance, Facebook offers, because it's all owned by the same parent company, Meta, that's formerly Facebook, Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp. It offers an integrative tool that allows you, first of all, it identifies you as a business. So it offers you professional tools. And part of the privileges, the professional privileges that Facebook offers is paid advertising. So you can, even if you don't have, if you want to speak to people that are outside your followership, that, okay, I have 100 followers, but I want to reach 10,000 people. Facebook allows you to then pay that, okay, with this budget, I'm able to run an ad to reach 10,000 people in, say, for instance, Yaba. Facebook, I'm paying for an ad. Allow me reach 10,000 people with this content in Yaba. That's why, personally, when you ask me, nowadays, some other platforms are trying to optimize, but a place like Twitter, for instance, is not that optimized. Yes, it also offers paid advertising, but it's not that optimized. And because of the integrative tool that Facebook offers, it's able to transcend its borders. So you can run the ad on Facebook, and it's coming, it's giving you results on Instagram, giving you results on WhatsApp Business. That's how beautiful that integrative tool is. So your channel has to align with your objective. Now, moving on from awareness, activation. Okay, you have, people are now, I mean, they've seen your brand at the worst case scenario, you're somewhere in their head, they've seen you, top of mind, you show up. But you need them to then start paying more attention. You need them to walk in, maybe ask questions. You need them to maybe even buy. Merging activation and reward. Walk in and make a buying decision. So you are able to then take them, again, channel, I think because Facebook offers that. But in this context now, where the specifics come in is in the messaging. So there's a kind of content that you do when all you're trying to achieve is awareness. And I'll give you an example of one that's really common in the healthcare space. Health education is very common when all you're trying to achieve is awareness. So if you as a brand just want to put your brand out there, health education, amazing stuff. So you're just putting out content, telling people about these conditions. In fact, even promoting it so it gets to them and they see it. Awareness works. But at the point where you start to leave that, when your message starts to just leave mere health education and it starts to come with a call to action. So you're just, before you used to say, oh, what's your sugar level? Too much sugar is bad and all that stuff. But now you're saying, walk into our premises. You can walk into our premises to get tested at a discount. Click this or send us a DM to come check you at your place. But you now have a call to action, something that is more intentional towards getting people to do. So that's why a lot of times you see brands tying these first 3 points, merging them, especially if it's a paid campaign, because a lot of times you want to get your results fast. If you have a robust budget and you're able to split it, sweet. But if you want to, not all of us, not all businesses have that luxury. So if you're able to split it, you can, yes, educate, then activate and get people to make that decision in one campaign. So tools like, again, Facebook is it rarely comes to mind for me because it starts with Google used to have Hangouts, but now Google advertising is such that it's able to, because of its vast network of websites in its engine, it's able to advertise across those networks. So that's where Google ads come in. But platforms like Twitter, platforms like TikTok, platforms like YouTube are places where you can share content. In fact, I don't know, for those of us that follow a lot of YouTube channels, you find out that a lot of things that happen on there is content marketing. People are just, how to use this spoon. And they put a video, make a video, this is a spoon, it does this, you dip it in food, put it in your mouth, and they go on and on and on and on about. And at the end of the day, the only action they tell you to take is to like and subscribe. That's even more beautiful because again, that YouTube is a channel, it's a social media channel that rewards its users based on content. So if your content performs so well, and if you are able to generate a number of views and users, you get paid by YouTube. So that's why another perk of social media, even apart from the fact that it allows you to expand your traditional clientele, is that it also offers at some level an alternative source of income for the businesses. In fact, that's if you care to look at it well or investigate health influencers that use YouTube, that's their primary business, really. They just are there to make content for people to engage, and YouTube pays them for the people engaging their content. So it can be, if you are intentional about platforms like that, some of these platforms can be an opportunity for you to get an alternative source of revenue for your business. Now, it's not even limited to just YouTube. So even on platforms where you are not traditionally paid by the platform, say Instagram, for instance, if you are able to generate a loyal audience, if you're able to be assured, grow to that point where you're assured of a particular number of viewership, chances are brands will want to engage you to leverage your audience, because they want to reach your audience, but they can't reach your audience without coming through you. So you find brands trying to promote their products through you, but it has to first come from that that assurance that you have an audience on standby. That's why a brand like a Aprocot Doctor is able to charge whether healthcare or not healthcare, because it has that audience. So that's on the side, that's an alternative side of revenue. But yes, that's awareness, activation, and yes, reward. Reward simply is the point where people have started to pay you for your service. Now I'm going to move on to retention, because that's another very interesting part that a lot of us community pharmacy owners don't pay attention to. So when a person has bought from your premise, what next? What should follow? Typically, in this framework, in the growth marketing model, the idea is that if a person buys once, that's not the end. That should not be the end of their customer journey. The next time they need medication, they should choose you. But if you want to be intentional, I mean, you can as well leave it to chance and hope that maybe your customer service is good enough and it brings them back. But if you want to be intentional about marketing, about retention as a marketing objective, because I promise you, sometimes if your retention is good enough, too much new people for a long time. Imagine that you had a 70-80% retention rate, that you have 100 customers, but you are sure that 80% of them will come back. That's some good level of business assurance, if you ask me. So I think that a lot of us need to pay a little more attention to retention. The customers, the people that have come to us at least once, what efforts, what strategies have we taken to retain them? And of course, there's more to this than just leveraging social media, CRM, and all that stuff. I'm sure that the Corbas, if they haven't already shared, but there's some plans for all that, CRM, relationship management. But on the social media front, there are social media tools that are designed to help you achieve that retention objective. That's that's where the whole idea of community building. I mean, you say you're a community pharmacy. Why not just pick the community in that and grow it? So you have your community pharmacy, say, for instance, in Ikorodu, If people around you already choose you, ask them, oh, can I add you to this community, or create a group on Facebook, create a group on WhatsApp, wherever it is. Can I add you to this group? If they find you valuable enough, they most likely won't reject share valuable content with them about their health, about how they can do better and all that stuff. So it's an array of opportunity, really. There are communities on Facebook, there's community, even WhatsApp. WhatsApp now is enabling the whole idea of building working communities. So you can take advantage of that. And the beautiful thing about it is that when these people, your existing clientele, when you bring them into your community, they feel like they're part of it. When you tell them about something, the same way the Growth Hub has brought all of us into this community. And the Growth Hub has told us this is something valuable to us as a community. And here we are on this call. It's the same way you say to your community of people, oh, it's World Malarial Day. Because you people have chosen us over the past few months, years, we are giving a supplement for everybody in this. It's exclusive to this. That's where the idea of loyalty has come from. That's where all this, but you can leverage social media and take you one step further is oftentimes organic. When a customer has gotten to that, when they bonded with your business so much, I mean, you really don't have to do much. So I hope that you are now starting to see some of the possibilities, not just with new customers, but with existing customers, what you can do. I mean, go back and check. First off, your retention rate, how am I doing? The people that came, how many new people did we have? How many of them came back? Things like that. It gives you an idea of what really is happening. And it allows you, so yes, you can use social media for a lot of things, but I believe that if we as businesses focus on this point that I've put on our screen, we are able to do much more really with social media. A lot of times, because I helped to digitize some community pharmacies during that COVID era, I said that a lot of us are just trying to find our feet because we don't understand the platform, because we don't even have a clearly defined strategy. We're just trying to, oh, let me just, because every other person is doing it, let me just do it. And we end up doing what doesn't work for us, because if a person's objective is awareness and your objective should be retention, and you're doing the same thing as them, you would be wasting your time, really. So it's important to start from the baseline, as is with any marketing at all. What is my goal? What am I out to achieve? And sometimes, just as I said, you don't even need social media to achieve this. But yes, because of the expanded reach, I mean, the seamlessness that it now offers, it is a really valuable tool to to achieve your business outcomes, your desired business outcomes. That's basically, this is the crux of it. But I had some specific questions that were shared with me, that I will share with me, that I'd just like to address first before I then go to a open house and maybe take some questions. So first question that I had, and I think it's a really valuable question, really, is around websites. So a lot of people have that idea that you need to have a website before you are able to do anything tangible with social media. Truth about that is that's wrong. Truth, legit, is not correct. Yes, having a website is amazing. Having a website is good for your brand, because first off, we just said the world is a global village. Having a website is you having a hut in that global village. That's what it is. But it's not it does not mean that without a website, you cannot do everything else. You can have a Facebook page, an Instagram page, every other page, every other kind of account without necessarily having a website. If you can afford a website, you can have a website. Lovely, great, go to it. But it's not, I mean, it doesn't have to stop everything else. That's the idea. I mean, not even in these days in this era of Google My Business. Google My Business allows you to, with what's it called, with SEO, or do a website will allow you to do a lot more. So if you ask me, I'd actually advise that you try as much as possible to invest in the website. But then again, because not all businesses are at the same level when it comes to revenue, when it comes to size and all that stuff, not all businesses are able to just come up with a website at once. But then again, your website doesn't really have to be up there. I mean, on a budget, you're able to come up with a simple, even if it's a one-pager, as long as it just represents your brand online. And if anybody's trying to get information about your brand, they find something. There's something out there for them to identify with you. So yes, website is great, but it does not hold everything else that you can achieve with social media. Okay. Next question I have is, okay, so yes, how to manage and create one. Well, if you want to do it yourself, definitely you have to have at least a basic level of expertise with using the internet. There are tools like Wix, WordPress that allow you to choose templates and design your thing yourself. But if you want something quite elaborate, something a little sophisticated, you might need to get a website developer and a designer to work on it. But if you just want something simple, Wix, amazing platform, WordPress as well, amazing. There's even there's newer ones emerging. All you have to just do is go on there, sign up, maybe pay for a template or pay for domain and hosting and all that technical stuff, and your website is live, and you can put all the content you want in there. But if you want it to be main, have some paparazzi and all that stuff, you might need to pay professionals to help you with that. Okay, and maintenance, now that's usually another tedious part of website. So depending on what your website is for, because some websites are built as e-commerce platforms where you can go and actually make purchases from the pharmacy without necessarily having to interact with people, and your process is delivered. That's a more sophisticated website, and it's advisable that you have somebody actively dedicated to the website to look after it, notify you of any payments that has to be made, and all that stuff. But if your website is just to at least give you some brand presence online, then it doesn't have to be something to elaborate. In fact, you don't have to do too much. At the worst, maybe you have a blog section that you just keep publishing, posting around, write blogs around healthcare and health news and health education tips, and publish there from time to time. Of course, annually, there are payments you have to make annually for your domain and all that stuff. If you build it yourself, probably charge your card. If someone else build it, they'll charge you or notify you on how to go about that. So yes, that works. Basically, that's usually two kinds of website, and the main maintenance requirement that exists, except of course there's something. But I think if your website, except it's really like a huge website, those are the ones that are targeted and are hacked. So in that instance, you might have to pay for some kind of security, online security, to prevent your website from being hacked from the, what's it called, your provider, your domain provider, and all that stuff. But that's the technical part. Usually, you don't have to worry about that, especially when starting out. Okay, I think that's the core of most of the questions that I got. So I'm able to take questions now. How does it work, Taiwo? Do I just throw it to the house? Is it an open mic? Oh,
Yes,
okay, I see a question. All right. I see a question in the chat box, how to grow followership on social media. So yes, this is a very tricky one, because I handle plenty accounts, social media accounts across different social media channels. And what you get to find is that a lot of times, if you want to grow followership organically, there are ways to grow followership that are not organic. You just pay somebody and by some miracle, your followership is growing. There's that. But if you want to grow it organically, it starts with content. You have to provide valuable content. That's the truth of it. And you have to provide it consistently. So it's not like you put, one short health this thing that really gets attention and gets people to click or follow. And for the next 3 weeks, nothing is happening. No, you have to do it consistently. Valuable content consistently. That's the best way. And of course, it will not happen overnight, except you combine with some other strategies. Say, for instance, influencer marketing. If if someone with an existing, I mean, with a large followership mentions your brand in their post, for instance, some of that traction translates to this thing for you. Again, paid advertising. So by promoting your posts on some of these channels, also help you to grow your followership. I don't know how many of us have our pharmacies mentioned or have our pharmacy as pages on LinkedIn. So one thing that I think is valuable is that, first off, keep your existing audience engaged. And if you can, ask them to share with their network. So on LinkedIn, for instance, there's a feature that allows you to, as a business, if your staff mention that they are working with your brand, you can notify them whenever you have a new post and have them reshare. Of course, you can't coerce them to, but of course, if the business grows, everybody grows. So just ask them to share this content, and because more newer eyes are seeing it, some people will be curious enough to track it back to the original source on the flyers, on the whatever you're sharing, the graphics, your accounts are mentioned, your handles are mentioned, people can see it themselves and stuff like that. So it's not a one size fits all, but what I usually advise business owners to do is set goals for yourself. So say to yourself, or for whoever is handling it, that every month we want to get 100 new followers. Now, if that requires us following people, because that's for Instagram and this thing, it used to be called follow for follow, but now it works where you just follow people, and because you follow them, they get it from see, oh, this is following me, and they then click your brand. If they like it, they follow back. If they don't, you don't get. So that's another strategy that's used, but that is usually more requires a lot more work, because you have to follow and keep following people. So but set objectives. I want 50 new followers on Instagram or across channels this month, then start to work towards it, leveraging some of the strategies that I mentioned. But usually, even to retain the followers, because your content has to be there. Sometimes your followers are there, and after a while, they don't even see you, because of the algorithm, they don't even see your content after a while. So you have to really be consistent with valuable content. Okay. Not sure. Do we have any other questions? Oh, hi, Taiwo.
Hi, Joba. Thank you so much for such an insightful session. I believe that we learned a lot. Yeah, so this is a good time to ask questions if you've got questions. Yes, so please share your questions if you've got any in the chat section. Yes, by basically unmuting yourself and saying your question. Joba, thank you so much for the great session so far. I know one challenge that many people may have is content creation. So could you speak a bit about that? Being able to generate the right kind of content for their audience. And there is this thing also as writers, but some persons may not see themselves as inherently good writers. So it does come with a lot of challenge, having to think about what to write, what to post. And then, a part of content creation really is having to make graphic designs and so on. Looks like a whole lot of work thinking about the text content and then thinking about how to do the graphic design kind of content or maybe video content where necessary. So yes, please, if you could speak to that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Taiwo. Yes. I agree with you. Content is not. But these days, the whole definition of content is changing. It's evolving. Social media, what's it called? Of some social media channels. Not too long ago, someone referred to me as a content creator, and someone else, another person, had to ask that, but he doesn't see me make TikTok videos. I had to laugh because is it only people that make TikTok videos that are content creators? But it just goes to show you how the whole idea of content has evolved over the past few years. So first things first, I think that us, community pharmacists, community pharmacy owners have an edge when it comes to content creation, because health education really is a big deal. If you choose to do health tips, if you choose to do side effects, if you choose to do drug, don't take this with that, if you choose to do, are you feeling this way? If you choose to do basically health education, you would have a premise to even start from, because for your brand as a healthcare brand, that's where it has to start from. So what kind of content do you want people to associate with me? Now that you have that part sorted, you then have to understand that, again, a lot of us make is that we forget that not everybody is a healthcare professional. So you have to take that message from the sophisticated leaflets. I mean, all those had indications, pharmacology that they put in the leaflets, to the day-to-day language, if you want it to work on social media. So, for instance, you are telling somebody, how to, so you have alopecia, this and that and that and that. I promise you, if not for the, that one that happened earlier in the year, Will Smith and all that stuff, a lot of people don't even know what alopecia means. They don't even know. But if you call it hair loss, that makes more sense. More people can relate with hair loss, baldness. Those are expressions that people can relate with. So you have to say these things in relatable terms. So for instance, you are saying, body odor, for instance. Call it that, body odor. But if you want to be nice, you can say, put it in a way that is more friendly. And another thing that you find is that in some because of some cultural context, tools like sarcasm, tools like humor, they always work. But again, because of the industry that we're in, the healthcare industry, you have to balance things out. So if you're say, you think you have ulcer B, you have to, but because the truth is some people actually have ulcer. So you have to be slightly empathetic, but at the same time, make the message a little exciting. But I understand the dilemma. I mean, you're worrying about inventory, you're worrying about finance, you're worrying about everything else, really. So it's often not easy to add this baggage to all of that. So some people usually assign a staff to worry about these things. And all they just do is, before you put anything out, let me see. So they review and ensure that it looks good before it goes out. Design these days, if you want to put it in design, it doesn't have to be over the top design. Canva makes life easy, especially if it's on social media. Nobody wants, design is fine. That's what they will say. Nobody will say, pay them for design. But if your content is valuable, most likely you will take a screenshot and go and share with their network. They will share it to their stories, things like that. So it's really more about the content than about everything else. But of course, if you have a great designer, please, I mean, it's competitive advantage. It means that when somebody else is using baseline design, you are a little extra. And they even start to associate it with your brand. That, if it's that pharmacy, they only do top-notch designs. I think AHA can boast of that. If I do say so myself. But things like that. So it's and again, there's videos. Doesn't necessarily have to always be text. Instagram these days is even more biased towards videos. Put videos on YouTube, put videos on TikTok, all that stuff. In fact, you can educate around trends. So what's trending now? People are taking excessive alcohol in response to a trend, or people are there's cold. People are feeling cold. The Harmattan season is upon us. People get ashy. What's it called? What's that thing that happens to the lips and all that stuff? So a lot of things will happen. Lips will break. Very, very, in fact, seasonal content by itself, you have everything that comes with the dry season, the dust and all the allergies that would come again this season. But you don't have to. So one thing that you can do to make it easy is test. So test it with your immediate circle. I mean, you have people that are not essentially healthcare professionals. Have something. Quickly do it on Canva or make a video of it. Hi guys, I'm pharmacist so and so. I just want to tell you about short video, 1 minute, put it out there. Let it work. If you not even want to be creative, put reels and put one of those fun music in it. Because again, if you don't use these channels, if you don't use the social media tools, you will not understand them. I promise you that. Because the channels themselves are trying to improve. So what was strategy? Oh, if you post it like this, use hashtags, do this, you are fine. 5 years ago. Now, everybody's learning how do reels work. If I use this music, does it help me get to more people? Is the viewership better? Things like that. So, but you have to actively be using it to see what updates. If there's a new update, test it, see what it does, see what it can offer your business. So things like that. But ultimately, we need to stop thinking content as, oh, it's something so sophisticated. Someone walks into your pharmacy, says something. I mean, it was Antibiotic Awareness Week 2 weeks ago, for instance, or was it 3 weeks ago? Make a short video. Oh, you are still using antibiotics to prevent pregnancy. You are still using antibiotics. No. Then say what you say the correct thing. You have that expertise. And fun fact, if it's your community that you're sharing this thing with, because some people have come into your premise and they've seen you, seeing your face in a video will make them connect with it better. Fun fact. So it's all just about being intentional about these things. Really. I hope I've been able to answer the question. Forgive me.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Fantastic. Thank you so much. This is really a call to action. I know some of the people here maybe are not even on Instagram. Maybe the last time they were on Facebook was like 4 months ago, 1 year ago. But even your WhatsApp, right? You're always on WhatsApp. WhatsApp is really a great platform. Like some of the video ideas that Joba just mentioned. You can decide to do a 1 minute video, maybe weekly tips with pharmacist Onyeka. Every week, right? Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and just record one short video about a health condition or a health tip, whatever, and you share on your WhatsApp status. I know it's not hard to share stuff on our WhatsApp statuses, right? You can start from the seemingly easy one or the seemingly easiest one for you before you then graduate to other platforms like maybe Facebook, Instagram, and the rest. But really, this is a call to action that we take our social media presence very important, right? Take your personal social media presence important. Take the social media presence of your pharmacy important. And for you as pharmacy owners, pharmacy managers, you're indeed the face of your business, right? So when people see your face, like Joba said, your clients will connect with you. And that means they'll connect with the brand. That means they'll connect with the pharmacy. So it all really, really depends on you, and you've got to take that action. Thank you so much, Joba. There's a question in the chat section from Farm Oremo, who is asking a question regarding Google My Business, I think. Yeah, you
Yes.
could do that.
All right, so thank you so much for this question. I think it's a very valuable tool. So Google My Business is a tool from Google that allows business owners to list their businesses on Google. So how it works is, in listing your business, if you have a website, you put it there. If you have your physical address, you put it there. Your social, well, I think one of the social media accounts, a phone number, contact phone number, you put it in your profile. So every time somebody around you or somebody is trying to find any of the services that you offer, Google is able to suggest your business to them. So for instance, in fact, by merely putting your address and what you do, say I'm a pharmacy, it integrates with Google Maps such that you also become a milestone in that region. So if somebody's using Google Maps and they need to, they can easily say, oh, it is just beside this pharmacy, or stop by this pharmacy. Your business shows up on the map that it's there. Typically, normally some businesses show up on the map. But if you now integrate your business, if you already show up on the map and you integrate it with Google My Business, it makes it easy such that whenever any person is, so for instance, if you're like me and you like Amala, whenever I get to a new place, one of the things I just do is pick up my phone, Google Amala around me. And Google brings every place that sells Amala around me. And it's so detailed that there's a phone number. So if I want delivery, there's an address. And that address I'm able to even use on Google Maps. So I can easily just click directions and it will show me how to get there using my Google Maps app. So it's integrated and it's a really amazing tool. So you're not signed up yet, please just Google it. Google My Business. You see the link, and you set up a business profile. If you take pictures of your pharmacy, what it looks like on the outside, what it looks like on the inside, add those pictures. You can also add pictures to your profile on Google My Business. But it's not merged, not exactly merged. It's an integrative tool, like every other Google tool. So every service that Google offers is integrated in. So even if you want to run an ad, in fact, at the point of completing your profile as a business, Google suggests to you, they try to sell the Google Ads offering to you that, oh, okay, why not come and use Google Ads to get more people to see your business? So it's an integrative tool. It's everything Google, your business shows up across. And also, okay, so it's also important that, well, if you don't have a website, you're also able to use this. But the pictures part I was talking about earlier, it's important that you have the pictures and you update from time to time. Because there's some businesses on Google My Business that you get there, and especially if you change signage or you change anything, you have a different picture on Google, and when you get to the place, you're seeing it. And another beautiful thing about it is that, in fact, it's so lovely. It allows users to also drop reviews for your business. So whenever a person stops by your pharmacy and they leave, Google asks them to leave a review that I was this place. I don't know if any of us have ever seen, oh, you just leave a place and Google is asking you to say how your experience at that place was. So whenever a person comes to your pharmacy, they get a prompt that to leave a review for you. So you can even see user reviews. At the end of the month, you get monthly summaries of how many people viewed your business through Google My Business and all that stuff. So it's a really amazing tool. I think everybody should take advantage of it. Okay, hi, Tao. Do we have any other questions? Okay, I think Tao dropped off. Do we have any other questions? So I take, and if not, I really hope that it's been a valuable session to you. It was nice meeting all of you guys, beautiful pharmacists as men of honor, joining hands to make this Nigerian place or Nigerian healthcare a little better than it currently is. Well done. Thank you so much. And of course, thank you for being intentional about your growth. Because if you're in the hub, it means that you are really interested in growing your business. You're interested in building a business that works, business that is scalable, and that is something to be proud of. And I hope that I'm able to connect with more of us outside this platform. Well, I'm on LinkedIn. You can connect on LinkedIn. My name on there is Joba Jelabi as well. So if you want to ask me anything specifically, if you have specific questions for me, we're able to ask those questions on there. And also you can reach me through Taiwo. Just as I said, I belong to the AHA family. So I'm only just one call away, really. If you need help with setting anything up, if you need help with optimizing something. Okay, so Chioma says LinkedIn is too confusing. I don't think so, Chioma. I actually don't think so. Do you want to speak specifically to a part? In fact, I think LinkedIn is a must-have for all businesses. Your business should be listed on LinkedIn, because what it does for you is it gives you a professional outlook as a business entity. So beyond just you transcend just being a neighborhood shop, because that's one misconception a lot of people have. Oh, just one shop. But having your presence is existing on platforms like that, having a proper business profile on LinkedIn allows you to, first off, in your profile, you can list yourself as whether superintendent pharmacist, MD CEO of this business. And whenever people visit your profile, there's a link to that business. So I think it's, well, if you want, I could provide specific answers to whatever part you find confusing, but I don't think it's that confusing. Yes, if it's your first time using it, it might feel a little sophisticated, but blah. with time it gets better. It's just about taking that first step in. Please try again. Thank you, Famchioma. Okay, thank you, pharmacist Alex. Thank you. Everyone who has been part of this session, I hope it has been valuable to you. Do we have any more questions, or are we good to go? If we are good to go, you could just put an emoji or put it in the chat box. I was not on the call, so I don't know how these things close. Thank you, pharmacists, Oluwayemisi. I really hope it's been valuable to you. I hope that beyond this session, you are able to take actual steps, take action, really. Even if it's just as Taiwo said, with your WhatsApp status, with your WhatsApp community. Next time, I'm sure that most pharmacists are here already have people that are this referral point, or at least retention point, people that keep coming back to you. Ask them, oh, we want to serve you better. Would you mind being in our WhatsApp group where we share health tips on how you can be better, stuff like that. So please take optimal advantage. Okay, Pharmacist Chioma, please continue, or please ask your question rather. Oh, Taiwo is back. Hi, Taiwo.
Okay.
Pharmacist Chioma was asking a question. You're muted if you're saying anything.
Okay, yes, sorry. It's a pretty long one. That's why I can't type. It's about websites and having an e-commerce website. So I've thought about having one, I have a stationary one as in just to know where I am, for people to know where we are. However, the e-commerce one, I've started to ask a number of colleagues who have websites that are already running, to test the waters, to ask them. And most of them give me feedback that, yes, it's good, but it's not as good. It's not commensurate to the investment they made. And these are like bigger brands, bigger names. So I'm like, is it worth to take the risk? Because I met up with several options. Some are telling me 1.5 or 500,000 for e-commerce website. The cheapest was 500,000 for an e-commerce website. But the questions they kept on asking were things like, okay, do I have logistics covered? Do I have, and so many things he was asking me, I didn't have them in place. So would you advise someone that is like me, that I don't have all those covers to down venture into it, or I should get everything available first before attempting to have an e-commerce website?
Exactly. I think the second part really is it. Everything else must be ready before the website. Because the beauty of e-commerce is in the automation that it offers your business. So with an e-commerce website, you are able to allow a random person, come on your website and order, or typically an over-the-counter, is a prescription medicine. There has to be some processing there to facilitate, but allow them order a medicine without you necessarily being hands-on in that process. And the system can flow such that up until the time it is delivered to them, there's no need for too much intervention, human intervention. That's one of the beauties of e-commerce websites. It's why platforms like Konga, Jumia, why they are why they are thriving as e-commerce websites. But if you don't have all the logistics parts, in fact, I think logistics is one of the biggest banes of e-commerce. If you don't have logistics covered, you should not set up. The investment will not be, because it means that every time somebody orders something, now in this case, keeping in mind that you are offering healthcare, it is usually time bound. If I have a headache now, I want to go take my Panadol now, not in 4 hours when your rider is bringing it. So it has to get to me now. That's one of the peculiarities of e-commerce in healthcare. So it's usually time bound. Then it means that your logistics has to even be better than the average logistics. So everything else has to be in place. You need to dedicate somebody to it, whatever coverage. So what you can do as a pilot is test. I'm guessing that you probably have some mechanism for delivery around your community pharmacy already. So if you have that, how does it work? Look at it. And if you needed to scale that, because oftentimes that automation that the website offers, the e-commerce website, is needed when you need to then scale that. Okay, if it's simply 10 people ordering from me with this platform now. I can easily manage 10 people with WhatsApp or with a Google form or with a simple website, really, or with a phone call. Easily manage them. But if I want to then take that 10 to 10,000, yes, I need a system that is automated. So that's why the investment is usually a lot. And if your business is not there yet, it's fine. Just do what works for you now. And as you then grow the business, you can start to invest in all the other components, the logistics components and all that stuff, bit by bit, up until you are ready to then take that. That's why a lot of people will not find it commensurate. Oh, we've put this so and so millions in an e-commerce website, especially for healthcare, but we've not gotten the gains. Because if I come on your website first time, order from it, and I discover that it's easier for me to step out of my house, walk to a shop and buy than to order online from the same brand, I would rather just walk to the shop. I don't know if you get the picture I'm trying to paint. So a lot of times, a lot of these brands are not ready before they go on to invest in an e-commerce website. So no. Start out with a website that just establishes your brand, who you are, what you represent. Yes, you can have contact numbers, contact emails, and all that stuff on that website, but don't start with a. In fact, building it it requires a lot of solid technology. So you could spend some time even in the building phase. That's my 2 cents on that. Okay, I'm not sure. Do we have any other questions? Right, I'll just hand over to you now.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much, Joba. Very, very insightful session. Very insightful session from content.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. From content creation to social media utilization to websites, e-commerce websites, and many, many more. I'm sure that we have all learned a lot. I'm sure that this has been really, really valuable for us. So I really hope that we'll go on to put into practice all that we have learned today. Never say never, right? Yes, you're at a stage where maybe you are not able to do all of these things, but what can you start to do with what you have where you are? I think that's the big question, right? Being able to identify, okay, what are the tools that I've got within my grasp at this time? Or look at the social media tools that Joba highlighted. How can I then begin to list my business on Google My Business, for example? That's very easy. Joba, if you could share the maybe web link so that people can click away, saying it's very easy to use and doesn't need extra guidance. Yes, so that people can just go on, follow the steps, and list their businesses on Google My Business. If you need need a website as well, I can connect you with Joba, and we can see how we can make that happen for your business. If you need, okay, maybe recommendations for a content creator for your pharmacy, please let me know and we can help you find someone that you can hire for your business. If you need a graphic designer for your business, okay, we can also recommend someone for you so that you can work with that person and get this going. For us, what's more important is that we take action. And you should begin to identify that as a business owner who desires to grow and scale, you cannot afford to do everything by yourself, right? You've got to come to terms with outsourcing some of these things. Be comfortable with outsourcing some of these things, right? And that means you've got to pay for the service. Now, you can get some of these services at very, very affordable rates. Very affordable rates. It's possible, it's doable, but you've got to be comfortable with doing that, and you've got to choose to take the step. Overall, I believe this has been valuable for us. Thank you so much to everybody who asked questions, who engaged with us all through today's session. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I really, really hope that as we move into the new year, we'll begin to view social media through a better set of lenses, right? We'll begin to view our ability to drive sales, drive patient and client engagement and client acquisition through social media. We begin to view this through a different set of lenses. And we'll begin to see that this is doable, even at our level, right? It is doable. And we've got all that it takes to be able to scale to even better tools, better platforms, and so on. But first, we've got to take the step to begin. Right. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll share the recordings with you all And yes, if you need any additional guidance, support, whatever really, please feel free to reach out to me so that we can support you along the journey. Do enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much, Joba. Such a pleasure to have you. Thank you, everybody. You're welcome. You're welcome.